Sanje Chudan Tsonje Chonala Chancham Bhandan Dane Chapsaje Dagi Jinso Jimbe Sonanje Drula Pesho Sanje Andramba Sanje Chuna Tsonye Chona Chancham Bhandan Dane Chapsaje Dagi Jinso Jimbe Sonanje Drula Pesho Sanje Andramba Sanje Chuna Tsonje Chonala Chancham Bhandan Dane Chapsaje Dagi Jinso Jimbe Sonanje Drola Pesho Sanje Andramba Nam Kadanyambe Simje Namje Deva Nande Judan Demba Jose Simje Dhamje Dungar Dungar Anje Judan Dara Jose Simje Dhamje Dewa Damba Namdra Semche Dhamje Anyera Chada Anyida Jare Tanyo Chame Para Neba Yamse Choge Angodani Pema Anjoni Asisandram Kordan Khandro Kengi Jesus Andanje Kengi Lobje Sesa Guru Namo semche namje sambana loye chebja cheta checho demo tenpa chunyi kurlo konde so tamge tuji shachiri sono janyeme tupdeji honjumba serje lambo dawarjib shakin jarbu shabla kushan zar gombola drawaryan dewanda tome nyem sholan chuji cha chujan shahwa o shilas zamlin jansho namla kushan zar zamlan tibi janjun chonyi da tuje long tong nyam ben tam gaya na tro damba bi bi te juji yin kundi shurkur dong ben hunchin Chime wazar shabla kushan tsar shibsha gunchin rola jipsi tere chime wazar yang chertuk terem zo wasar long chen nam ki nam jerp Chime limbi shabla kushan tsar Mari sangin chanram nyang la char kundu zambu mon nam nambar jang sibji jarin tinlin zinzat Mepam jam tsu shabla kushan tsar Pami duksi durjib dinjumni drubi namro lira lambi kar Madhu londa rikpi khwar jibjit Jingme penso shabla kushan tsar Kamson korwa don chungnum jimbe sabche lamge yon ten tarchen ba Nilu ranger tumbe namjoy Yeshi wangchu shabla kushan tsar Kunzang dur sim garab shirisan Pema kara jimbang nyushunga Sozor namnya tir tunjar sas Katir lama namla kushan tsar Kandab shochu dongunji dina Desya lomra kirwa kansata Tandir tumbi shuji sherme Semparando pa deda thamse darsha se Namo arya dambal hai ke dangla dangno jenke Chum da dam eke nim dang Roa kunji jarke chizam Thamse ket chu jang tu jur chi Okay, prayer on English. May all beings enjoy happiness and the causes of happiness. May all be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings never be apart from the supreme bliss which is free of all suffering. May all sentient beings live in great equanimity, free from the attachment and aversions that keep some close and the other distant. May all beings enjoy happiness and the causes of happiness. May all be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings never be apart from the supreme bliss which is free of all suffering. May all sentient beings live in great equanimity, free from the attachment and aversions that keep some close and the other distant. May all beings enjoy happiness and the causes of happiness. May all be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings never be apart from the supreme bliss which is free of all suffering. May all beings live in the great equanimity, free from the attachment and aversions that keep some close and the other distant. Okay, so we are going to explanation about on the 37 practice, the path of Bodhisattvas. So this teaching we can division into there's three orderlines: the virtues of begin, the virtues of actual, the virtues of the end. So we have gone the first part. Now we are going on the virtues of the actual part, and then the actual part again. We can divide into this three stages, which is the preliminary practice, actual practice, and the conclusion practice, the path of Bodhisattvas. So we have gone the first part. So now we're going on the we have gone the first two. Now we are going on the third section, the conclusion practice. And then this conclusion practice again we can divide into this fourfold or four stages. So we have gone the first the 6 perfections. So now we are going in the second stages of these 4, which is the 4 aspect, the practice from the precept from sutra. So this again we can division into there's 4 stages. So we have gone the first 3. So now we are going on the fourth verse of these 4 precepts from the sutra. So this fourth one is two explanations, the how you practice the precepts with of the avoiding the harmful the harsh words. So this is from the verse 20 verse 34th. So let's check now. The harsh word disturbs the mind of others and disintegrates a bodhisattva's conduct. Therefore, to give up harsh and unpleasant speech towards to the others is the practice of a bodhisattva. So, which means is the harsh words. If you use bad word or bad speech or harming speech or harmful speech, and that is the problems is we can disturb the mind of others. The harsh word is not really real weapon, but is more danger, as more painful than the weapons, to hurt others. So therefore, generally also not nice to use harsh word, and particularly Dharma practitioners not nice, and then especially of the Mahayana Bodhisattva's path followers, and then you should be to know how to avoid the harsh word, and then not only just the harsh word to others hurt only, but then that moment is you also lose your conduct of the path of Bodhisattva's non-violence conduct, So therefore, and disintegrates a Bodhisattva's conduct, because Bodhisattva's conduct from body, speech, and heart is as a non-violence conduct. But if you use a harsh word, that is contact is become violence, and that means is you hurt other. So that is a negative action. So, but of course, the depend your motivation, because the Mahayana Bodhisattva followers, the first 7 negative action or positive action is as real or not, as true or not, is depend to the on your motivation. So therefore, these harsh word means is your projecting or the achieving motivation is as totally is bad or with a false, maybe jealous to other people, or maybe angry to other people, or maybe you want to harming them, or maybe you have ignorant, or maybe you have a desire, attachment, something like these 3 poisons, and there the force depend to the your 3 poisoning, disturbing emotion mind performed these harsh words, then that is 100% sure it's a real negative action from your speech. And then, but sometimes, if you are very the Mahayana Bodhisattva traditional pure practitioners, that means is you have the full, your heart is a pure motivation without any hesitation for yourself, only benefit others. But better your wisdom mind, you can understand the moments maybe the harsh word is helpful, then the something is gentle talk. Sometimes it depend many reason. For example, the kindness mother. Some usually they use the very gently, very kindly and talk to her children. But sometimes some child is very activity very strong, and then they doesn't listen if you say very humble or something. If you use very simple the kindness, if gently if you talk and they doesn't listen, and then the child very danger or something is will be doing wrong, very problems, and then mother's heart is full compassion to her children. So therefore she cannot to bear live like this wild way. So therefore sometimes she used like the wrathful activities, the speech, for example, the harsh word. But this is not real harsh word, but that looks like harsh word. But that is a reflection of a harsh word, because her motivation only she want to benefit to her children. She have without any hesitation herself only. So this is just for example. So similarly, it's like very qualified teachers, the kindness teachers or the masters. Sometimes they use the harsh word to the he or her disciples, but the moments you can see reflect the appearance is his speech is a harsh word, negative, but that is just a reflection of the negative harsh word, because he or her master heart is only compassion, love, and wisdom to how training the disciples contact or so forth, and that is just reflection, So, and then also this we're talking here harsh word, but the virtue speech also can be sometimes just a reflection of the virtues, because he or her motivation is very bad motivation with 3 persons or something, but you want to cheating to others, but you use very gently speak is very nice, very smart or something, very looks like very kind, but it's not really kind anymore, but that is the cheating to others. So this speech is very nice speak in the moments, but that is negative, the reflection of positive but not real, that actually is negative. So in this way, here is the harsh word means is depend your with motivation is negative, and then on top if you use the bad speech, that is a real harsh word, the actual negatives. So if you use like that negative the speech, and then here say and the disintegrates of the Bodhisattvas contact, you are the Bodhisattva followers, the path followers, so you must need to take responsibility. Your contact is non-violence, but you lost. the non-violence conduct become into the violence, so there's conduct. Therefore, to give up harsh and unpleasant speech towards to others is the practice of a Bodhisattva. Okay, so these now we have gone the four folds of the precept from the sutra text, and now is the third aspect from the 5 stages of the conclusion practice. So the third practice now as the next from the verse 35, how we to avoid the negative emotions or the afflictive emotions immediately when they appears moments. So let's check now. Once you become the accustomed to afflictions, they are hard to endurance with antidote. So therefore, with the remedial weapons of mindfulness and introspection to forcefully eliminate afflictions such as attachment, the moments they arise, is the practice of a Bodhisattva. So once you become accustomed to affliction, then very difficult to control. I mean, it's very beginning, maybe you couldn't recognize the faults of afflictions, emotions, or the faults of the delusions very beginning, because not like that much strong yet. So you can't see that is very bad. And then as it become more habituated about this disturbing emotion mind again and again, they're more strong and strong, your anger, your desire, your attachment, your jealous. If you doesn't try to control about this very beginning, and then become more accustomed, and then is one day you can see that is very bad, that is very uncomfortable for you and others too. So therefore, that moments when you want to stop, but not easy, because you have become already habituated or familiarity about this, the affliction and the afflictions of the emotions. That's a problem. So therefore, of course, everybody important to control very beginning start to appears, yet not be the accustomed about these emotions, and particularly Dharma practitioners, and especially the followers of path of Mahayana Bodhisattvas. Then you must be here to control this very beginning. They are hard to endure with antidote, not easy. Therefore, with the remedial weapons of mindfulness and introspection, so these two is like weapon, because the emotion is like enemy-like, to hurt your heart and to hurt others' heart. And not only this life, but even in life after of another life, continuously, if you are habituated about this afflictive emotions, imprint, stored stream your mind, and that is very strong enemies, the internal enemies, very danger. So therefore, in this way, how can we to kill, how to control the inner or internal the enemies of the afflictions? Here there says you need to use the mindfulness, the weapon of mindfulness, one. And the another aspect, the weapon of the introspection means is the alertness, we can say, or we can say vigilance. So the mindfulness, we need to remember continuously, or keep always keeping in the heart to understand, or what is the conviction of you was understand, which is the necessary abandonment object of the practitioners, which is a necessary engagement object of practitioners, as you have already very clear convictions. Then these conviction you need to keep continuously keeping on your heart. But how we can keep continuously these the red percepts, red recognitions, because depend on your the intention. So intention. So there's with you have intention or not is does depend your mindfulness. Mindfulness is the opposite of forgetfulness. So even as you're learning something about the virtues or non-virtues or natural law of cause and effect or so forth, the vow of Bodhisattvas, few days or few weeks. But then completely if you're forgetting about that, and then it's when you recognize something problem, that time's too late, because already completely you have the problems, you have fallen down already. So therefore now how can you keep the red positions under your heart? Because the mindfulness. Keep your mindfulness. Mindfulness is like lasso, how to tame the wild elephant. Is need to tie on the tree, big tree or big pillar, by the ropes or the strong of the lasso. So it's mindful. It's like lasso to training our ordinary people's the scarred mind or the wandering mind or the wild elephant like the mind. And then is the introspection, the alertness is the aspect of a time to time you need to judge. You need to check judgment, You need to examine, or you need to analysis yourself. By yourself, you need to analyze to your inner emotions, what is going positive or negative, time to you need to check. Like Aaron Hook has to tame the elephant, So therefore, these two is the mindfulness and the alertness is very important. So then is with the mindful on top of alertness or the introspection, when you recognize already there are the affliction emotions appears there, or approaching start will be as increasing anyway. At that moment you immediately need to bring the antidote to avoid this or to control about that. So that is the here says to forcefully eliminate afflictions such as, for example, attachment or anger or desire, the jealous or hatred, harmful thought, but so many different negative emotions can be, But the moment they arise, here is important things is when is the red time, at the moment, at the first moment, is when they appears. That is the easiest to control that. So, but how can you recognize at the moment appears there? That is we need to keep the mindfulness and the introspections. These two aspects can recognize of the negative emotions when the moment appears. If you lose these two aspects, power of the mindfulness, power of alertness, and then you cannot recognize at the moment there appears. Maybe it takes many long time already gone. Then it's try to control, but not easy because become already habituated. So not easy. And that's why here says the moment they arrest, because that is easy, very very quick. Like for example, someone going to taking about the like drugs, or maybe it's a drink or something, smoking, for example, use. So it's very big in just moment. Arrest the moments if you know the faults. That's not good for you. That is not good for your health, for example, and better your mindfulness and the alertness if you understand clearly. And then if you want to stop, it's very easy because yet not you have very habituated about this, yet not accustomed, But if you use long time ago, the drugs or the smoke or the something, the alcohols or the wines, so forth, too much, use weeks, month, years, and then that's very, very bad for you, your healthy problem, many things problems. So that times you want to stop, but not easy, very difficult to quote about this, to quite not easy. So same the negative emotions such is like that. So therefore the moment is very easy. So the moment they arrest is the practice of the Bodhisattvas, how to control the afflictive emotions and so forth, so on. Yeah. And then the fourth aspect of these 5 stages, the 5-fold, and the fourth, from the 36th verse, this tells us the Bodhisattva followers or the Dharma practitioners how could benefit to others, and briefly here, let's check what's saying. In brief, wherever you are and whatever you do, always examine the state of your mind. Continuously working for the welfare of others is the practice of a Bodhisattva. So here's in brief, because we mentioned in the sense very first verse until in the 26th here, we talk so many different way for practice, for benefit yourself, for benefit others, and particularly as the training month with this part of Bodhisattvas. But in briefly here, the key point is here in brief, wherever, doesn't matter, no matter where you are, east country or south country, north or something is here or there, or no matter, they have no depend the place, wherever, no matter, wherever. And also there's not special time. So whenever you are and whatever you do, something, if you're doing activities from your body, your speech and your heart, you start when you will be to doing some activities, and then you must be check. Of course, generally also important to check your action before you go into the actual actions. Why are you doing? What is your purpose? What is your motivation? And what is the situation? But especially Dharma practitioners, more important. And then a specific of this Mahayana Bodhisattva practitioners, you should be check beginning, So always, that not enough check to 1 times, 2 times, but whenever, whatever here this is, always examine the state of your mind. Examine the state of your mind. What is your motivation? So, because your motivation is maybe something you go in or walking or start to talking, or you start to thinking about something you want to harming somebody, or you want to cheating somebody, you want to something stole from others, some like extra, something like this, wrong motivation, and then you must be stopped. If you are Dharma practitioners, particularly you are the Bodhisattva's path followers, when you find some faults of your motivation is not pure, and then stop till change your this bad motivation into the right, then you can start, that is any kind of actions, and particularly Dharma activities, important, very, very important to check beginning your motivation. So when you start to go into some actions of Dharma, and then when you examine the state of your motivation is pure, very good, and then keep this continuously. But when you see there's not like that pure motivation, then try to change, your motivation. If cannot change, and then better canceling or stop. That is, always examine the state of your mind, continuously working for the welfare of others, because then after you examine your motivation and the state of your motivation, then you found there's faults, then try to change, or maybe without any faults, then your activities could be 100%, 80%, and 90% sure can benefit to others and each others. But if you found some faults, your motivation still no change, keeping continuously with these faults, foolishly, if you go to these activities, and then 80%, around 90% is sure something directly or indirectly will be harming you yourself, and you will be harming your Dharma activity and harming to others, or you lose. your purpose, So that is why continuously working for the welfare of others is the practice of Bodhisattvas. That's very important to check one's own motivation. But of course, we are very, very beginning of the practitioners, of Dharma practitioners, or particularly Mahayana tradition followers. So therefore, you can find many faults. We can't say any times, whenever, as always, as pure motivation, 100%. That is almost not possible, very beginning, But we need to recognize first, to recognize the faults, Then when you recognize the faults, then try to change. That is, try training your mind. Train your the bad motive into the right motivation. Train. So therefore, and then again and again, and then very beginning is something is entrapped. The motivation is then is become as the what say, and entrapped it. The motivation is the pure is coming. Nature, the pure motivation is coming. Very beginning is not really nature pure motivation, but you must be try. So that is again and again and again, and then become more pure, the pure progress or the mentor, the spiritual, the qualities to grow up, increasing. So that's why it's the practice of Bodhisattvas. And then the next, the fifth aspect or the fifth stages of these fivefold, from the 37, the verse 37, the last one, the 37 of this 37 practice. So this is the main point. Is important to know how to dedication. So let's check here. To dedicate the merit thus accumulated through this effort to enlightenment with the wisdom of three of concepts of the wisdom free of the concept of the three spheres, in order to eliminate the suffering of all infinite beings, is the practice of a bodhisattva. So the dedication is very important after you dedication is important after you complete whatever you was something you will practice, meditations, listening, dharmas, or dharma activities of benefit to others, any virtues, any merits, any something, no matter sutra and tantra, when you have completed, and then you need to dedicate. So very important, because if your virtue, if you have your practice with the dedicate or without dedicate, then what is difference? Big difference. Even maybe you were the practice maybe weeks, month, even years, but without dedication, without three excellent, actually we can say, practice is become pure or unpure, depend your the dedication or three excellent. Three excellent means is the excellent, the first excellent, the beginning of your motivation. Bodhicitta man, that is the excellent of beginning. The first the excellent of your practice with the beginning of bodhicitta man. That we mentioned already. So you need to examine of your mind when you start to go and practice. Keep as much generation and generate in the pure motivation like bodhicitta mind. So this is one excellent and begin. And the second excellent during the main practice without distractions, without obstacles, which means is focus one pointedly during your practice. Your mind is one pointedly as much you can focus on your actual practice without any distractions, because sometimes some practitioners just looks they to going meditation, sitting on the cushion or on the class or something, but he or her mental activities already started, wandered into the of maybe outside or in the market or in the family or with or on countries to country, something is the mind. That is because you have no power. The actual practice, you're missing the second excellent, because it's the actual practice without concept. But your mind is scattered, wandered very much of normal, maybe thinking about desire, anger, attachment with your practice. That's wrong. So therefore, at least must be try to control or to stop your distraction mind or the disturbing emotion mind, and focus on your positive emotion mind, and focus on your one's own and the actual practice. Focus on there, and then is on top this, if you can remember the nature is no matter what kind of your practice, the object, subject, and the active itself is emptiness. And the appearances, this your practice, the three spheres of the object, subject is like illusion. So that illusorily practice, and because nature emptiness, appearance is like a illusion or like dream. So that is excellent. The second excellent actual practice. But here we're talking about the third excellent, particularly this 37, the dedication. So the third excellent is excellent of the conclusion of dedication. The third excellent is the conclusion of dedication. So which means is no matter your practice long or short, or even when reciting mantra 6 syllable or Mani Padme Hum, maybe one mala, when you complete it and then you start to leave this or start to go in this break this session or to go some on your normal activities, and then is the moment you need to dedication, before you leave these sessions and to go dedications, the end. Your practice must be to do the dedicate. So that's very important. If you have already your practice with these three excellent, then your virtue is very stable, very powerful. Your virtues can continuously increasing day and night, even as you falling asleep. Even you are just wondering, your mind is with some applying something normal apply or something, but still your actual virtues can exist continuously, not only can exist but can grow up, because your projecting motivation is pure, once your actual practice is pure, at the end your dedication prayer is pure, so therefore this virtue cannot destroy you. So these kind of virtues, even as you will be experiencing the result of this virtue, but not exhaustion once time if you experience the result, but again and again you have opportunity will be experiencing the happiness, enjoyment from these virtues, life after of another life, till Buddhahood can exist in these virtues with three excellent, then your virtue cannot destroy, never. But if unfortunately, if without of these three excellent, particularly the dedications, then virtue is as a virtue, so will be bring happiness, enjoyment sooner or later, but could be sometimes easily destroy your virtue, can damage easily can exhaustion, because like the three excellent, particularly the dedication, that means is in the text that says even as a hundreds lifetimes and the previous kalpas during lifetimes, if you accumulated lots of merits and virtues without the three excellent, particularly without the dedicate, and then once you have very strong angry appears, the aversion mind, the angry of aversion mind very strong and deeply from your heart towards to the somebody you want to, you want to harm them, and then is your previous virtue can destroy your past virtues, all without of the three excellent or the dedications. That one could be destroy one very strong anger from deep your bottom heart to other you want to hurt, So this is the problem. Even not destroy bad and angry yet, but as can repent, you will be experienced happiness, enjoyment, temporary moment once only, and then disappear. For example, the seed. virtues. So therefore, the dedication is very important. So let's check now how to dedicate here. To dedicate the merits thus accumulated through these efforts to enlightenment. Dedicate the best is for enlightenment, because you are Mahayana practitioners. Main purpose, yourself and other sentient beings, you lead towards to the of a completely enlightenment mind or Buddhahood. That is the best. So therefore, you need to dedicate my these virtues, with this power to lead myself and the sentient beings to will be as soon possible enlightenment of Buddhahood, something like this. But does not mean dedicate to have to is everything is dedicated to the enlightenment. But you can also, it's just the observation dedicated, you can say, for remove obstacles, for remove of the illness, sickness, dedicated for some or dedicated for next rebirth, the freedom from lower realms. You can dedicate for next rebirth, reborn higher realms, or and so on and so forth. And special, you can the specific dedicate point of specific object. But generally, the main key point is because Mahayana practitioners, the final purpose, the final goal is enlightenment. So that is, particularly that's for actually everybody, So therefore, effort to enlightenment with the wisdom free of concept of the three spheres. This is the most or the pure dedications here. We say with the wisdom free of concept of the three spheres. For example, the ordinary normal dedication, even you have pure motivation, you want to dedicate your virtues to share all sentient beings, gradually will be in step and lead to the enlightenment, but very good motivation. But still ordinary, we believe very much, we apprehending to truly existent the object of the dedication. We apprehending to truly inherently existent the subject of the dedication of yourself. We apprehending to truly existent, inherently existent of the action itself of the virtues. That is a very, very ordinary people's perception. The dualistic grasping perception, So this kind is not really yet very, very pure, because with concepts. Because we need to collection the two merits I mentioned, two collections I mentioned yesterday, wisdom and merits. But without this wisdom, and then you can collect the merits, but you cannot collect the wisdom. That is the problem. So we need to collect both of merits and wisdom. So how can you collection together? That means is here your dedication with on top of this pure compassion for enlightenment, and then with the wisdom free of recognition to the free of the concept of all the three spheres. That's very important. As I told you, the sixth perfection, paramita, paranjana paramita, that is last, the sixth perfection, wisdom. We mentioned you is need to with the first five together, and then you can do, the wisdom, and you can collect the wisdom and merits. So here, even the dedication also same like this way, is to keep the wisdom and pure motivation together. That is the best way to dedication. So, in order to eliminate the suffering of all infinite beings. So, but also you can dedicate it particularly to the of your people, your friend, your father, your mother, or your something is some lover is when they're dead, or some obstacle, they're sick or pain problems. You can dedicate your particularly some special your mantras or practice meditations, your virtues. You specially dedicate to them. It's fine. But generally, your main motivation is only your attachment to this and aversion to others. That is not correct. So therefore, as generally you need to dedicate to here say infinite beings. Means is a great equanimity, Bodhisattvas to dedicate to all sentient beings generally. And then on top is sometimes some reasonably and specific you can dedicate to that and this person or something, for that time and this time or something you can do. because special point, there's special power, for this, because interdependently can benefit, But main motivations for equally for all beings. That is why it's infinite beings. Then if you can do like this kind dedicated to, and then your virtue is actually short term, maybe 2 hours, for example, this listening Dharma activities. It's 2 hours, not so much long. But if with 3 excellent, these 2 hours listening or 2 hours talk Dharma, but these 2 hours not like that simple. Your virtues become very large, very big, very strong, because you with these 3 excellent, And then on top, you can also dedicate together all the virtues of your 3 terms. Your past virtue, virtues of your present, and virtues of coming or future. Just you thinking, your mind, just thinking, mix together of this your 2 hours listening teaching, for example, and dedicate for that and this, way I mentioned previously. And then not only this, then on top also you can thinking about your virtues of 3 terms and others' virtues of 3 terms together, just you thinking as dedicate. So then your virtue is more strong, more powerful. So cannot destroy nobody, cannot steal and cannot destroy, cannot rob, nobody. After this, for example, 1 drop of water. If you with the selfishness, the motivation, you are very great person, and then you doesn't want to share nobody. You doesn't like to share nobody. Only you want to use this for yourself. Only you want to this some benefit for yourself alone. Then what do you think? How long you can keep this 1 drop of the water? Not much. 1 second, minutes, or 1 few minutes, and then a few minutes later after, then will be dry quickly. And then this 1 drop of water, if you can share, dedicate into the ocean, a big river or the ocean, then your 1 drop water is very tiny, very small, but you dedicate, you sharing into the mixture into of the ocean, and then is your 1 drop water cannot dry as long as ocean is there. Then your 1 drop of water is there. It's because mixture, your small tiny 1 drop of water become the same like ocean. So this is for example, Buddha's example analogies to understand how important the dedicate, your virtues and others' virtues, and mix together and to share all sentient beings. Then as long as sentient beings there, then your virtue is there, because you already dedicated to them. That is the point, Like oceans there, then your one drop of water is there. Cannot dry become your only separately the 1 drop of water from ocean. Not possible, because you already mixture together. Not possible. So dedication point meaning like this power. Your virtues you already shared. This is share to the dedicate to all sentient beings. So that's not yours only. So that is for everybody's. So somebody is there, then your virtue is there. That means. So it's important to dedicate. In order to eliminate the suffering of all the infinite beings, is the practice of a Bodhisattva. So this all is the method, the skillful method, Mahayana traditions. Because if you know the means, skillful means, how to purification, how to collection merit, how to benefit, how to enlightenment, then even is a small effort and short term or short life, you can enlightenment. Possible you will be enlightenment, Buddhahood. But if you're missing the real the means or the method, the correct method, if you're missing, then even is you have very strong effort and takes very long and over and hardships, but the result is very tiny, very small. It's because this depends the method. Same like traveler, to go to some country to countries. If you have good method, it's like trains, airplanes, for example, is this everything you direct your schedules, and then easily you travel around the world. Even 1 month you can training all of the world. If you have missing but easily, if you don't know how to use the right method, and then only maybe walking or something, berserker or something like this as a simple method, and then we need very effort every day, but it takes very long to run the 1 times in the world, the earth, for example. So therefore, is how your practice is going well or not. Of course, we need effort, patience, but method is more important, the right method. So the Mahayana is always have skillful method, So we says is to be enlightenment, Buddhahood takes 3 numberless eons, but does not mean you have to passing into the through of the to Buddhahood is the 3 numberless eons, real the actual death, the times, not that case, But you need to collection must be to Buddhahood is completed complete to collection merits wisdom during 3 numberless eons, generally average durations of Buddhahood. But if you have good methods, then the accumulation merits and wisdom during 3 numberless eons, you can instead in the 1 lifetime, can Buddhahood is possible. If you're missing the red method, and then even if your practice is more going off into the more than 3 numberless eons, still cannot Buddhahood. It's very clear. So therefore, this depend. You can collection merit wisdom quick or not, as depends your method. So it's therefore the 3 excellent is the correct excellent method for everybody, for any kind of the practice, Dharma practice, Sutra and Tantra, so forth. Okay, so now let's go to the next. Okay, so now we have gone the virtues of begin and virtues of the actual. So now we are going the third, the last, the outlines, the root outlines, which is the virtues of the end. So now these virtues of the end, again we can division into there's 5 stages, 5 verses. So we now in the first verse, what they talk here we see. Because these explanations, the author himself, the Tokme Sambo himself, how he compiled this text, or how he wrote this text, and what is method, as and what is the purpose, and for whom benefit. So that is the 1 verse, the explanations. Let's check now how as he wrote. By relying on the words of genuine master, I explain the meaning taught in the Sutra, Tantra, and treatise, the other treatise, in the form of these 37 Bodhisattva practice, to benefit those who wish to train on the Bodhisattva's path. So here's a by relying on the words of genuine master, because these all the 37 the teachings, the essence of the 37 the point meaning the teachings, not only he himself alone, just explanations, of course, because he is the Buddhism practitioners, and particularly he is the Mahayana Sutra and Tantra practitioners, for Buddha's followers, So therefore, he must be this relying on the depend to the Buddha's Sutra teachings and Tantra teachings. But Buddha's Sutra and Tantra teachings very, very vast. The meaning is very deep, very extensive, very profound. So not like that much easy to understand, to find the essence of this all. So therefore, need to rely on the qualified master, teachers, to understand, to collection of this essence of Buddha's Sutra and Tantra cannot by themselves alone, must be, of course, the traditions of masters, instructions, masters' lineages, and masters' empowerment, masters of the teachings, so forth, So therefore he said, by relying on the word of genuine masters. Actually, Tongme Zambo himself was followed after the fifth step more than he relied on the 42 very scholar and qualified different masters. He is the follower of more than 42 teachers, genuine masters. And then I explain the meaning taught here is from the 37. What talking is the taught in the Buddhas, the taught of Sutra, Tantra, and then the description, the discrimination, the text, the commentary text, and the treatise from India masters, the Buddhism followers, and from Tibet master of the Buddhism followers, the treatise. So Sutra, Tantra, and treatise. In the form of, then is he found what is here, is there's 37 verses. That is the 37 practice, the part of Bodhisattvas we mentioned already. So in the form of these 37 Bodhisattva practice. But then for what? For whom? This is to whom? To benefit those who wish to train on the Bodhisattva's path. Somebody whom they want to practice, starting meditation, enlightenment, Dharma activities, and particularly Mahayana traditions. Because not easy to understand all Sutra and Tantras is very big. For example, Sutra in Tibet we have now is more than 108 big volumes, more than 108 different kind of the volumes. So if you yourself to check this all is not like that easy, to get the essence, not easy. Even just the read, not easy to finish, And then this Sutra, Tantra, these all teachings, and then of course the treatise, the text, sculpture, so many. There's more than 260 something the volumes of the treatise. So it's not easy. So therefore, he just somebody that kind of practitioners, the one who want to follow Buddha's the fifth steps, and then it's Tongme Zambo. That's his main point. He benefit those who wish to train on the Bodhisattva's path. That is his motivation, his purpose for this 37 practice. And then next, the second stages of this, the virtues of the end. So he just promised for us the proofs, the evidence that is sure you can trust. This teaching is sure, is pure, unmistaken, way. So because the proofs here now he say, let's check. Because my intelligence is small, but looks like opposite what I'm saying. But that is he is a humble. The Bodhisattva's practitioners always talking something is very humble, humbly. The ordinary people, if later understand, they have big pride, it's a big arrogance. They later understand, but they generate big pride. This is ordinary, Bodhisattvas, those the tamed mind is they learned lots about and they practice lots about, but they're showing us very simple, very humbly. That is only the sign who is very trained mind, or trained mind, or who is not really tamed. No matter look appears what can like that is, but the action is different. So therefore here he also just humbly he says, my intelligence is small. but actually it's opposite, And my status is few, but that's the opposite, actually. It's not. I lack linguistic skills to please the scholars. That is also not true. He's very, the good poetries, but he wrote many texts. But however, he says, I lack linguistic skills to please the scholars. But then what is his proof? So here's what is his commitment, the promise here, say, yet. Since they are, don't worry, that means, he says, even I learned a little, and not a very nice word here, not like poetry, something like this, some scholars, for scholars, but still don't worry. He can guarantee, he can promise. Yet, since there are best on sutra, Buddha's sutra, and the tantra, and the teachings of before there says the commentaries, so forth, So the teaching, or then also the masters, the genuine masters, 42 more than he follow, received the teachings from. So therefore, teachings of the genuine masters. So that is the proofs. That is evidence, as to us. No need doubt that is his talk. What is right or wrong? So therefore, I believe these practice, the 37 practice of a Bodhisattva are faultless. There's no faults. Don't need to worry. So that's he promised, for followers, future followers. Then the next, the third aspect of these 4 stages here. This is he just, in case if there are something is wrong, and then he can just say as a the excuse, as a forgiveness. Nevertheless, since the vastness of the Bodhisattva's conduct is difficult to fathom, so best someone like me, he's using the simple words, actually best someone like him, and then must be they have no any faults, and sure it's real. But he says, as himself, he recognizes, he says, best someone like him, like me, with an emperor intellect, but this all opposite, emperor intellect, I pray to the genuine masters who learned, who are very scholar, or those the genuine masters and other teachers, the scholar and learned, the qualified teachers, if they found some faults from his teachings here, and then to consider with patience or forgiveness or something as excuse, So all my faults, such as, for example, the faults such like the contradictions, and unrelated, or the incoherence, and so on. So some is totally contradiction from the sutra, tantra. Some is not directly as contradictions, but is the unrelated or something, and the coherence, and so on. Coherence. So that is, he says, forgive, And then next, the last one, the fourth aspect of these virtues of the end. That is he himself going now as the dedication. He going to dedicate for this completed of this text, So therefore, you look, he says, whenever you go in something, practice or learning, starting meditation, reading or writing, but when you complete it, then you must be dedicated, right? He himself already ordered for us. So here, Tongme Zampo himself complete now this text. So the end, he also going to dedicate exactly what he says, here. So now how he did dedication, we see. Now let's check. The virtues of the merits gathered here, and by the power of conventional and ultimate devotees, that may all sentient beings become like the benefactor Avalokiteshvaraya, who dwell neither in the existence of samsara nor in that of peace. So here, by the virtue, because he's this text, he wrote this text. So by virtue of the merit, they have lots of merit. That's not normal virtue, because you can see now. So we have already passed more than hundreds of years ago, 6 or 7, almost 700 years, almost nearly. But his Dharma, this text is work lots very much to benefit sentient beings. Till how long, continuously. So that's virtue, is not simple virtue. This benefit is not simple benefit. So this benefit is not temporary moment benefit, but on top is benefit to enlightenment, for example, for everybody. So therefore, that's very large, the virtue. But these merits, he accumulated merits with this text, merit. But not only, I mentioned you before, here it says, gather. Gather of what here? Gathered here and gathered of his virtues of 3 times and the others' virtues of 3 times, and particularly here, and by the power of conventional and ultimate bodhicitta. That is from the main topic of these 37 practices, or the Mahayana practitioners' main purpose, the main point is these 2. Ultimate bodhicitta mind and conventional bodhicitta mind. So that means is compassion and wisdom. The power of compassion and power of wisdom, that is the point. So power of conventional. So conventional bodhicitta is a same point, meaning of the compassion and loving kindness. Because compassion and loving kindness is during the post-meditation times, how they're going, keeping the non-violence conduct, Bodhisattvas conduct to from body, speech, heart directly to sport to other sentient beings. But if you lack compassion and lack of loving kindness and lack the pure motivation, and they have no reason to activity benefit sentient beings with body and speech, heart. So therefore, is the conventional bodhicitta mind is during the post-meditation times, when they're going to benefit sentient beings, the 4 or 5 kind of different activities comes from the motivation, compassion, and love. So there's a conventional bodhicitta mind. Comes from the conventional bodhicitta mind, conventional, or the relative bodhicitta mind. And then the ultimate bodhicitta, this is the wisdom. The key point is wisdom, by the wisdom mind to realization, selflessness of a person, and the realization, emptiness, selflessness of a phenomena. That is the ultimate bodhicitta I mentioned you before, in that the main text that terms. He mentioned to you already what is bodhicitta, conventional bodhicitta mind, what is ultimate bodhicitta mind. But the point is wisdom and compassion. These 2, the union of compassion and wisdom, ultimate bodhicitta. So that is the object of the dedication. So, and then bodhicitta, may all sentient beings, now we look at this power, may all sentient beings become like the benefactor, Avalokiti Shovaraya. This is Sanskrit language, the compassion deity, Chanrizik, Tibetan word with Chanrizik. But the compassion deity, Avalokshoraya, is the embodiment, compassion and the wisdom, the 3 times, the Buddhas of 3 times. So, but he dedicated to all sentient beings, gradually will be achievement state, will be achievement state, all sentient beings of same like this quality of Avalokshoraya. Because Avalokshoraya, he is the embodiment of wisdom and compassion. So therefore, he already completely freedom from extremes of samsara, by the ultimate bodhicitta mind. By the ultimate bodhicitta mind means wisdom. He already released the true nature of self and phenomena by the wisdom. That is why he is Arya being. He is not ordinary being. That's why he is ordinary, extraordinary being. He is not ordinary being because he is completely freedom from the ignorant is the root of samsara. He freedom the obscuration of delusions. He had already freedom from the obscuration of the karma. So that's why he is the Arya being, Arya Avalokshaya, That means is the ultimate Bodhicitta man be freedom from the Bodhicitta man be freedom from the samsara already. But not he is the remaining in the falling extremes of nirvana like Arhat, of the Hirayana and solitary realization, not like that. Because the conventional bodhicitta mind, power of better conventional, which is the compassion, the bodhicitta, this compassion does not mean the Hinayana tradition followers lack compassion. They also have very compassion, strong compassion and love to sentient beings. The Hirayana, solitary realization, the Hinayana tradition followers, of course, heart is full compassion and love towards to the sentient beings. That's sure. But have not with the bodhicitta mind. This is the difference, They lack the cultivating mind of enlightenment. They have not the generation bodhicitta mind, that is. But they have compassion, love, of course. The compassion, love is the essence all the of Buddhism tradition followers, since Hinayana to Mahayana. Because sometimes people are misunderstanding. We lots talking about compassion, love, and is from Bodhisattvas, where then they're thinking is the Hinayana where they have not of compassion, love. That's not true. So therefore, they gave an example in the text. The Hinayana tradition's compassion, love is like the kindness mother without arms, her children and falling. Her son is falling, flowing in the water in the big river, deep, and the big river, strong river. And then what can do mother, kindness mother? But this means is how love, how much love to her son, how much her feel is sad, and as a suffering, as to see her son is flowing into the water, the river. That is her compassion and love to her son. But she have no power to jump, it's in the river to save her son because without arm, arms, 2 arms, without leg, complete leg, 2 arms. So therefore, if she jump there, then she also die together. It cannot save. Not possible without arms in the big river. This is the analogies to understand the Hinayana, solitary religion, the Buddhism of Hinayana practitioners. They have how strong compassion, love to sentient beings. He or she can recognize samsara is full of suffering or full of suffering. So samsara is more danger than the big ocean and the big river, So the mother sentient beings like this, the kindness mother's son, children are flowing in the river, like they can recognize all other mother sentient beings, suffering in the samsara over and over and over and over. They're burning, suffering of change, and all purpose is suffering. So they know. But they have no method to return back into the samsara. Like without arms, mother cannot jump in the river. They lack the method, like arms. Method of arms, they're missing. Which means is they lacking the generation bodhicitta mind, and lacking the true realization, selflessness of phenomena. Only have wisdom to realization, selflessness of person, but have not realization, selflessness of phenomena. This is one problem. And on top, another problems, they lack the courage. The courage is lacking the courage, the highest courage, like Bodhisattva. They lack this courage. They cannot return back into samsara to benefit others. That does not mean they doesn't want to benefit others, but they have no power. Method of the wisdom and the highest courage. So therefore, they are falling extremes of nirvana. Even they are freedom from extremes of samsara, but they will be not freedom from the falling extremes of nirvana. So, then the Bodhisattva's compassion, love is the examples, the analogies. With the 2 arms, the hero father, they can jump in the river to save his children, or they can jump in the war. if the small his daughter or the son is wandering into the of war, and the father have no doubt with the 2 arms and the stone hero, and just can enter into the of war, and his child have the power, the courage, That's the example. But compassion is same. Compassion, love, kindness to others, no difference. You look, the father and mother both, they love and compassion to he or her children. But a father have the power because with the 2 arms and a very strong than the mother, and the hero. And the mother have compassion, love, same like father, but lack the arms, so therefore cannot jump. They have no method. This is only the distinguish Bodhisattvas compassion and the Hinayana traditions compassions. The courage is different because methods different. Tradition depend. So therefore, that's why Bodhisattva can return again and again till emptying samsara, have freedom. Of course, samsara bear the wisdom to realization selflessness self, and on top selflessness of phenomena. But why they are not falling extremes of nirvana like arhat? Because the bodhicitta mind, the conventional. Here we're talking the 2 bodhicitta, conventional and ultimate bodhicitta mind. Ultimate bodhicitta mind, they are free from samsara, and the conventional bodhicitta mind, they are free from nirvana, falling extremes of nirvana. So therefore they will become reincarnation into samsara again and again. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, activities of body, speech, heart, mind, the mind and qualities and the activities of activity multiply to benefit sentient beings till emptying samsara. So because we have this power, this courage, since beginning we need to generate about this bodhicitta, and therefore the end also they have endless the power activity to benefit sentient beings. So the Tongme Zangpo here, he also going to this way, the dedication prayers here. May all sentient beings become like the benefactor of Avalokiteshvara. So, how devils, the Avalokiteshvara who devils neither in the extremes of samsara, because by the wisdom to realization selflessness self and selflessness of phenomena, because he already caught the root of ignorance and the delusions, the karma already, and nor in that of peace. That means it's a nirvana, not like of the nor in the of the peace nirvana of like arhat, because the bodhicitta mind, Avalokiteshvara is the embodiment of compassion, the bodhicitta mind of Buddhas of 3 times I mentioned you. So this is the Avalokiteshvara's quality, actually. So Tongme Zangpo, by his virtues to dedicate all sentient beings gradually is made as to achievement. All sentient beings made the achievement state of sentient beings into these stages. Means is free from samsara and free from nirvana. Means is enlightenment of Buddhahood. So we also need to dedicate generally. Mahayana practitioners, we need to dedicate like that way. And then is particularly you can dedicate to your friend or your people or something is wherever you feel something is there needed, specific they have problems. When you see some, feel very also you have some special the connections, and then you need to dedicate, you can dedicate for them. But generally you must be equally dedicated in this way. That's the Bodhisattvas. How to dedicate. So that is all. This 37 practice Bodhisattva's path is complete. So this is Tongme Zangpo. I mentioned you in 13th century in Tibet and Zhang, near the Zhang and the Lhasa and the Sakya. So he's Sakya master, one Sakya tradition masters. But he's of course is the non-sectarian master that we can see in here, but this is the very famous one. Now himself exactly experiences about this topic, or he himself already learned he did practice about these 37, what they says in the text, everything's almost he experienced everything's, on his life. He's a very famous scholar, qualified, learned, master. And he is also, we recognize he are the manifestation of Avalokiteshvara actually. This Tongme Sangpo, Gyasi Tongme Sangpo. Okay. So the dedication prayer, and the very first the worships, the very beginning, and that's two. The key that these two verses, point is the same, because this actual text is with the compassion and wisdom. The main point is liberation from samsara and liberation of nirvana, sentient beings. So this is the point. So his own motivation is compassion, loving kindness, and his own wisdom is to realization, selflessness, self, and emptiness. That is, he recognized that is a method to liberation, only. So that's why the end of conclusion, dedication, and the very beginning, the worships to the Avalokiteshvara and his gurus, and the same, the point, the meanings. You can see in the first verse beginning, saying the Namo Lokeshwaraya, that's a Avalokiteshvara, The dedication prayer also Avalokiteshvara, same. And you see that all phenomena neither come nor go. That means was the ultimate bodhicitta, same point. Avalokiteshvara already completely freedom from samsara, because here says, you see that all phenomena neither come nor go. That means is the unborn nature of samsara, but he realization by wisdom and selflessness of person and phenomena. That's why that all phenomena are neither come nor gone. He saw, he seen. That's one qualities. His gurus and the Avalokiteshvarayas. And then he said, still you strive solely for the benefit of beings. Solely for the benefit of beings. That means is the convention of Bodhicitta, the generation Bodhicitta month, I mentioned you before. So freedom from the extremes of nirvana. So that is not contradictions. Is he seen the phenomena are neither come nor gone, but still he see sentient beings wandering in the samsara, but conventionally. Automatically he see is nobody, the phenomena are neither come nor gone. That is wisdom and true realization himself. But according to the sentient beings, yet not realization, this true nature neither come nor gone of the phenomena, and they are coming and going, and sense from beginningless time in the samsara. Sometimes it's going in the hell realm, and sometimes coming into the peak of existence, the circulation. So therefore his compassion, by the compassion, he manifestation into samsara over and over and over, the Buddha's Bodhisattvas, So that's the very beginning how he bore the key point. So the actual, all this topic, the point meaning is everybody to understand about this, everybody to lead towards to these stages, the qualities. So beginning and worships to this way, and the end dedications to this way, or same things. So this is the point how important we to know Dharma practitioners, and particularly as the Bodhisattva path follow the Mahayana tradition followers, important to know over and over these 37 practice. You can do just daily prayer actually, these 37 practice, and prayer and thinking the meaning again over and over, at least weeks once time prayer, this 37 practice. If not, and once a month, something prayer and thinking the meaning as much again. Of course, you can do it every day to prayer once and thinking about the meaning as perfect, this 37 practice, because these can remind you, these can protect your mindfulness and your alertness of these kind of qualities, then these can change your heart and grow up. Your mental, the spiritual, the civilizations grow up, increasing, and the same time simultaneously in decreasing about the disturbing emotion mind and the ordinary wrong perceptions, so forth. So that is in this week our teachings. And then anybody, if you have any questions, we have can be for around 15 minutes on question answers. Anybody, if you have any questions. Yes.
This strange question. What will happen to the Bodhisattvas when samsara is empty?
Oh, that is you see His Holiness Dalai Lama, what happened now. That is one example. Does it make sense? Oh, you don't know, you do know any about His Holiness Dalai Lama? How he going? What happened now? No. Okay, he bring the world peace try to now, day and night, since he grew up till now 82 years old. Always he going there and here activity from body, speech, heart to share benefit sentient beings. That is, you know, right? That happened. A Bodhisattva, that happened. But that's not only once lifetime, till emptying samsara over and over. That's just one example. But there's many different ways. Directly, indirectly, you know, to appears. That is the Bodhisattvas, what happened.
You said that one of the things that hinders the Hinayana practitioners for helping is that they didn't realize the selfnesses of phenomena. Can you say a bit more about why that's a hindrance to benefiting beings?
Why? Why? It's because the Hinayana tradition followers, that is. His one's own traditions, that is only. The method. Only this. Yes. Buddha's teaching have many options. So they are follower of these options. That is. Because lower capabilities, lower capacities, and dull faculties, lack karmic connections to follow of a high school like this, lacking karmic connections, have no karmic connections. Therefore, they met like this lower teaching, a lower teacher, because they depend the followers' capabilities, different capacities, different. Same. If your karmic connections at the very beginning you follow teachings, you met Hinayana traditions, then you are become like this way. But is you are fortunately to meet Mahayana traditions, so that is your karmic connections. So therefore you understand something is like the path of Bodhisattvas. But they have no karmic connections to meet like this. Even if they met, they cannot accept that is because very deep, very extensive, they can't understand. They're confusing. For example, selflessness of phenomena, and that they are headache, you know, because their belief is existent, most of the phenomena, but they can see is their selflessness of person, for example. There's a difference, so many difference, the reason. Different capacity, different faculties, different karmic connections, and different traditions, different tradition followers, that is. That is the same. Say, why is there not Buddhism, many things? Not. That's also, the answer is same. Because they have lack karmic connections to follower of Buddhism. Then even cannot enter into the path of Hinayana, even not, because they lack karmic connections to follower of Buddhism traditions, have no these faculties, have no this knowledge, you know, to understand of Buddhism, for example. That is karma. Karma is different. Then even you ask why somebody is the follow traditions and some is totally is non-traditions. Again, same. Some follower of traditions, they have these karmic connections, and some of non-tradition followers totally at all. That is he or her capabilities. That is karma, karmic connection. Same. All is like the logic is same. The reason is same.
Rinpoche, maybe you covered this already on Wednesday, but how to engage beggars? For example, if they just need it for getting drugs or for kids they are begging, and normally they should be at school and just begging to earn money for their parents or something like that. So how engage them?
So what do you think if your son, I don't know you have son or not, but if your son taking the drugs, then what do you can do something? What do you think? You want to give him the money and to buy the drugs, try to as much you can share, or you try to find the way, solutions to avoid about this, to change himself? What do you want to do, for example?
Yeah, try to help him not to...
Yes, exactly, that's sure. So therefore, same this way, everything need to our wisdom mind on top of your compassion and to treatment, how to support to them, you know, the right way. That is only. But it's not easy. But still is have the many way, you know.
At the end, for the conclusion, when he says about my intelligence is small and studies few, so he's not lying there, but you were saying that that's not true.
Lying means is you want your motivation is the Bodhisattvas. What is lying? What is truth? Always, I'm talking here. First 7 virtues and non-virtues about the 10 is depend on your motivation, right? These are how many times I taught in this time even, right? Okay. Then would you think this Thomas Zambo, he want to cheating us or he want to benefit for us?
No, but I
okay.
was just wondering...
No, just in case. So
it was a choice of humility then, he was choosing
okay.
to be...
Okay, then would you think is better showing, lead other the Bodhisattva followers always as the pride, negative emotion pride or negative emotion arrogant, this way leading to is it better, or as a real actual Buddha says, as you are Bodhisattva practitioners, you must be your activity Buddha, the heart, speech, mind is a symbol and the humbly show people as a humble way, not pride and arrogant way. This is Buddha's advice. So therefore, is a Tome example, he follow exactly Buddha says, he's showing that is other followers that lead into the humble way. Does not mean is thus practitioners lack his compassion, love, does not mean lack his courage, confidence. His courage, the confidence is most of the highest confidence and highest of the courage is from Bodhisattva. Okay? Arrogant and the arrogant and pride is the opposite of the courage and confidence, you know. Somebody full with the arrogance and is pride and then sure, I told you before, he later learned, but he said on the text, I learned lots. You see today in the information, see, even you look my biography in the text, I didn't say I learned very later. Okay, I say I learned sutra and tantra, lots. Actually, that is not lying totally, but not very like this, you know, humble, you know. But still, the motivation is that not means is bad. At the moments, for myself, I know. Because it's a new country, new people, tell truth is at the moment is better. Otherwise, there may be doubt for my teaching. Yeah, so but Tongme example, you don't need doubt. He is famous on this in Tibet and there, and he is not only these 37 books, the text, the verses. So many his teachings, the famous, you know, Sutra and Titra discrimination. He's once his life, the practice is, you know, it's like same like real Bodhisattva that everybody can recognize. So no matter what he says, but we understand how we need follow part of Bodhisattva. That is. But I am this person, he said, go to your country, he said, I didn't learn, I'm very bad person or something. That I think it doesn't work, isn't it? So better if I say, the little bit say, I learned, I'm something that does not mean my motivation is pride, arrogant to want to cheating you. But I want to give you chance to trust a little bit, right? So therefore we depend, everything as a motivation, no matter what they says. But sometimes you can see even very scholar, qualified teacher that says he is very something qualified, learned. That means is not arrogant, that is not pride. But what he says true, but he's showing directly because people make trusting. Some in case depend, you know, depend. So everything depend. wisdom, compassion, mind. That's why we say Mahayana practitioner, no matter what they shows, no matter what they says, we must be trust them. That is. Okay?
Cool. Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Mm.
I would like to ask about female bodhisattvas.
Sorry?
I would like to ask about the female bodhisattvas.
Okay.
Are there texts like this one by by this author that one can read, or if there are not, do you think it's about any cultural reason or what's happening?
Have you seen any sense from beginning here until the conclusion, dedication period, there's any something difference between man and woman?
No, not at all.
Not.
I'm just asking
Okay, so
about
therefore that is the sign. It's the no need to worry, it's the same equal.
Yeah,
Equal power, equal motivation, equal practice, and since Buddha and the teaching says Rikipam, Rikipomo. So that means it's a son, the family of my heart son and my heart daughter. He says very like sutra, heart sutra, very beginning he calling. So therefore practitioners, they have no difference and same way and same motivation and same this. That is male and female. That we're talking about mentally here.
right.
You ask me physically. So that's the totally physical, no matter what kind, so the system of the physical, but
Right.
Mentally.
I agree with it. I just wanted to know if there are any texts by female bodhisattva.
Oh, you mentioned the example of Bodhisattva, female.
No. I just wanted to know if there are texts.
No
by
possible.
female-
No possible.
Okay.
If possible, that is not correct. Because they have falling extremes one way. Must be teachings equally. Do you understand? Equally. There's no difference. We say gentles, yeah? Gentle. We say gentle. Gentle is a human mind made. Do you understand? Buddha's mind have no gentle. Do you understand?
Right.
Therefore, that is for you and for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
This I agree.
Therefore, don't ask me there's a woman text.
No.
Yes.
Written by a woman.
What? I don't understand. Sorry. Then written woman means?
Written by a woman.
Oh, sorry.
That's what I was asking.
Oh, okay. Totally. I'm just, we are opposite. Opposite means I lost your essence. Okay. But anyway, what I'm talking next.
Italian,
Okay, no
Spanish,
problem. Anyway, the woman written is, I'm sure, there's many. Okay, magic labdon and the Chot practice is the lineages is a magic labdon in Tibetan. The Gypsy traditions, all is the root comes from magic. The magic means the labdon is the woman. For example, that is an example. Okay, and then there's many, of course.
Thank you.
Yes.
That was the question.
Yeah. But don't thinking about no matter read from man or a woman.
No, just
But
curiosity.
okay, what needed, who talk, that we need. Okay, still if you're thinking, oh, that is a man talk, so I doesn't care. Because I'm woman, but no. But in case, that is not the Dharma way. Okay, don't think. Because sometimes I tell you an example. Really, in Tibet I have no any about no matter which deity is female or male. For me, have no any distinctions between the difference. Since I have even 1 second minute I didn't appear under my heart till I come in India. Okay, but I visit to India, to other countries. Sometimes I see, say, woman like to female practice deity, like I love Tara. But it does not mean, or can be sometimes, but that not means, I understand. Because I'm woman, so therefore I love Tara. But this is not Dharma. That still is modern, I tell you, the gentle feeling is coming, So, therefore, these countries always try as much as can disciples and teachers to forget. Okay, no matter the deity is female or male, but you can, of course, focus which is comfortable, which you like. But your main motivations means is I'm woman, so therefore is I'm practice female deity. I don't like practice of the male deities. That is not Dharma. Okay, so therefore, but these I have my own experience. To some people, few, but I think rare. But other countries sometimes I can see. But that means is still there. Talking with Dharma, but the feeling is not on the Dharma. Still. Little bit mixture of the modern, the worldly, So Buddha is a very, very equality, to, of course, between man and woman, but all sentient beings, So, however, but don't worry, they have many famous of the women which are sent to Tibet.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I wanted to know if is it beneficial to take the Bodhisattva vows, even if I know that I'm gonna break it, like every moment probably of the day, or is it better to wait, to practice, to reflect on it, and then later to take the Bodhisattva vows?
Difficult to say if you every moment break and then it's then I hard to say. I have no chance to really but anyway, as much you can try, and to keep, and then with mindfulness, alertness, and when you see something, moment problem, and then immediately try to purifications and to reconciliation, recovered, and immediately when you seen something happen, problem, that is important. Otherwise, if you only waiting to one day completely can as a pure, that is maybe is not this life, so have no chance. So therefore try, keep courage, courage and confidence. Why not? That is okay. With thinking about for Buddhahood, why not? We think is so that if you thinking is that is not me, and the moments then when is coming the time is so then you lost your life. Is the most important. So, but of course to understand is important. But is the time is on or not is because, for example, Mahayana traditions, you first want to enter into the path of the accumulation is before the means the point of your generation Bodhisattvas start or not. That is the point. If you yet not generated Bodhisattvas, and then that is sign you are not yet entered 1 feet in the first part of the accumulations. When you first moment is generated amount of enlightenment from your heart, that means at that moment you are first time, your first feet step enter into the path of accumulations. But does not mean that is always you are grow up continuously very pure way. So we need, I mentioned you facing your patience to the facing of the hardships of dharmas. For extra, I told you from Thomas told us from here. So therefore, time to time happened. That is why Buddha also gave the method how to purification, how to recover, how to reconciliation after something happened wrong. If once enter into the path till Buddhahood have no problem, then there no need method to say reconciliation or recovered or some the restorations is there no need the method. But Buddha already gave us chance, for Sutra followers, Tantra followers, Hinayana, Mahayana, all is you have many options after you enter into there something happened, then what we need to do. That does mean is happened, So, but still try, that's the better, Like war, fighting country to country. If you say only 100% sure I can win or become, then I to war. Otherwise I'm never, then you lost always, is it? So therefore try. Maybe you can, you are one, maybe you are lost. But anyway, you can experiencing something more and more, isn't it? But do not always get out away, far away from one time take, for example, Bodhisattva's vows. Something you see, oh, that's not me, I cannot, so I never do again that. That is very dangerous. Okay? That is the perverted, we say, perverted here. Perverted action. That's very strong negative. Perverted, no matter which kind of virtues. This happened some, it's already that enter into the path of Dharma, they take refuge, and the empowerment or something like 1 years later, and then totally disappear there. But disappearance is quite odd, from Dharma way. They leave behind, and then not only then talking, say people, oh, that's what says, but not like that, it's simple, not like easy, not like that good for us, for me, That means is the perverted, perverted to the Dharma. That's the very danger. So, okay, so therefore, again and again, try. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, that last. Mm-hmm.
Is there a difference between impermanence and something constantly changing?
Say again?
is there a difference between something impermanent and something constantly changing, or it's the same thing?
Oh, this is actually the same. Impermanent can be, there's two differences. One is the impermanent of course level, impermanent of continuity. That is a change, what you says, that is the point. And then one is the impermanent of the reality. The impermanent, the subtle impermanent of reality. That is not really big change. You cannot see the big change because momentarily change, moment by moment, momentarily change. So this is the impermanent of the subtle impermanent of reality. So, but what we understand change is very big change, like 4 seasons change difference. That like this kind, or age, change the age, the adult into old. Something like this is normal. We want to understand change. So this change is the kind of aspect of the course level, the growth level, the course level impermanent of continuity, because the continuum change, not momentary change. So this little bit different aspect, but the same, actually point to same, change or impermanence. Okay? Shirgan Anchi Palmo Truba Sebian Soli Droa Droa Shu and Dita Duso and Derwa Gerza Chini Samba Major Semche Tamche La Sanje Topi Jungo Jumper Power Children Kimba Kundu Sambo Tea Tevje Deda Gonye Jisu Dalo Gewa Deda Tamshe Ramde Tuso Shambe Jawa Tamshe Gi Kanla Chodu Ngamba Dage Geve Sawa Digun Chaya Zambo Shoshe Ramda Ngovar Kunza Dorje Chanje Manche Ni Zhenje Zawe Lama Yanche Drove Donde Monlo Kanda Pa Deda Tamje Dase Andre Parsho Shewa Kundu Ayanda Lama Yanda Drame Shuni Perla Longshu Sada Lamje Yonde Ramzoni Dorje Changa Kompa Yanyerto Okay, so I let you know there's one coming on the 14th of November, I will going to teach for 1 week or maybe for 10 days. We'll be teaching the morning, the ngondro, the preliminary practice, the nyingting ngondro, the heart essence lineage, the nyingting ngondro. So in case anybody, if you want to do the ngondro practice on your life, once at least the 500,000 preliminary practice from of the nyingting ngondro, then if you have time, and then I have planned to will be that I are going to teaching on the 14th November, maybe for 1 week or maybe for 10 days, you know, in the morning 9 to 11 hours. So that is just in case anybody, if you something want to do this practice, just let you know.